Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson. I'm so glad you're here with me today. If you're new here, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you're watching this on the replay, know that you're going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. If you would like to join me live, go ahead and check out that description box below. All of the regular days and times that I stream here on YouTube are listed there. There's also information about my live online Reiki certification classes, community Discord, social media, and crystal shop. If you are here live, go ahead and click the live chat button. Feel free to make any requests that you have for your personal healing and wellness. We'll go ahead and we'll start things off by building a beautiful crystal grid exactly to the specifications and requests of everyone that's here. We'll go right over into that crystal grid in just a moment, but just to let you know, you can request specific stones or just the general healing vibe that you're looking for, and I can select them for you. Of course, keep in mind that this is a pretty public forum. It doesn't get much more public than this. So you can be as general or as specific as you would like. And yeah, I'm so glad to have you all here today. Let's go ahead and say hello to everyone. And just to let you know, if I seem a little bit distracted, I do have one of my cats in my lap, and she's currently fighting me for attention and love. Yeah, Gertie is here. For those of you who've been here before, you're well acquainted with them both. So let's go ahead and say hi to everyone. Awesome. Here, let's let there be light. Yes, let there be light. Let there be even more light. Ooh. So, yep, here we go. We've got our beautiful crystal grid already in progress. I'm starting things off with jade, which is a wonderful good fortune blessing in every aspect of life, from family to relationships to career to finances, community. Jade is just a harbinger of everything beautiful. We've got this copper spiral. Copper helps to get energy blockages broken up, get the energy flowing. We've got Smoky quartz, which is fantastic for transmutation and protection. It really helps transform the energy of a space or within your body. It can also help to break up energy blockages, and it helps to calm worry as well. We've got our typical, usual, almost every session, citrine here. Citrine is excellent for calling in financial abundance and wealth and any kind of resource needs that you might have. It's also great for balancing logic and intuition. And last but not least, we have lots of peridot. This is super helpful for breaking up any old cycles that are just holding you back, like those habits where we keep kind of getting in our own way. Helps to break them up and also helps to establish new and reestablish relationships with people that support us in our more positive cycles as we shift and evolve. It helps us to bring about those friendships that support the more evolved version of ourselves. So peridot, a stone of friendship and personal growth. So let's go ahead and say hi to everyone. Oh, it's so good to see everyone that is here. We've got Korakar, Vic, Jennifer, Highland Love, good to see you. Backo8, welcome in. Tara, Belinda Wade, good to see you. Carrera, Key, and or Patty. Oh, it's Patty. Hi, Patty. Christina, good to see you. Oh, and Grace, hello, everybody. And good stuff. Okay, good stuff. So I'm looking at all the requests here. Let's go ahead and dive in a little bit. Wrist, elbow, shoulder. Gotcha. So some joint stuff. We've got some let's bring in some howlite for joints. Anything having to do with the bones, orthopedic health, really the hair, bones, teeth kind of stone. White howlite. A lot of folks, and there's a lot of talk in a lot of different crystal circles, there's a lot of things that are sold as one thing when they're really another, and there's no surprise there. But white howlite oftentimes is presented as white turquoise. White turquoise is a beautiful stone. It's not the same thing as howlite. They're not the same stone. And I know that was a question that came up recently in a Reiki share, so I just wanted to kind of share that. Howlite is a beautiful stone in its own right, and it is fantastic for anything that has to do with the bones, the skeletal system. It's also superb for anger and resentment. Anger particularly is there to help us make changes and stand up for ourselves. And if we are unable to, or if we are not quite sure how to proceed, or we don't feel empowered to do it, that anger can kind of seethe and be explosive and really uncomfortable. So this can kind of help dissolve the anger, especially helpful if you're also working through whatever is the cause of that anger. So this can be really helpful. Great for frustration too. So let's bring that in for some joints. It's also thought to be great for stability and blessings, like mental, emotional stability too, especially when things around you are unstable. So we've got that there for you. Energy, gotcha. Muscle relaxers ate your day. Ugh. Okay, good stuff. I totally understand. Sometimes you just have to. Like if you're having one of those days where it's like, well, I can't do anything anyway. Just bite the bullet, do what you need to do, and then tomorrow will set you up for a much better day generally. I struggle with a lot of like muscular and orthopedic stuff. But speaking of muscular stuff, let's bring in some serpentine. It can be really helpful with that. Whether it's muscle weakness or muscle tension, this can be very helpful. It's also really helpful for the skeletal system too. It's thought to support calcium and magnesium deficiencies, like better absorption. I mean, of course, I'm not the healing arts person who's going to say, oh, do this instead of the, anything else that works. No, fix your diet, do what you need to do, take your supplements, all of that. And why not have some Reiki and crystal healing? It certainly cannot hurt. This definitely can help. Also thought to be helpful for things like rashes and eczema, as well as diabetes and hypoglycemia. It has a big link there. But yeah, it can be great for a lot of things. And in general, it's a pretty chill stone. The vibe of it is something that feels very calming and peaceful and serene to me as well. Minimalizing, you got it. Okay, good stuff. Chevron Amethyst. Patty, you've never seen white turquoise. Turquoise has always been one of your favorite stones. White turquoise is just super beautiful. I got to work on Jewelers Row. It's where I had my healing practice for quite a while, and I was so spoiled. I knew it then, so I really wasn't spoiled, but I knew that there were things I was seeing on Jewelers Row that most people don't get to see in a lifetime. And yeah, I got to see some types of turquoise that are super rare and basically mined out, but they were like antique stones, and it was turquoise like none other. It was like a color of blue that you couldn't have thought would exist in nature, and it was just, oh my god. But yeah, white turquoise is absolutely beautiful, but turquoise is a very soft stone, so a lot of times it's treated with things like different plastics and hardeners, and they call them stabilizers, to make them more viable for jewelry so they don't break. A lot of people don't realize that, and then they use them to like put in water and drink the water as an elixir because, the energy will be better. You don't have to do a direct water infusion. That's one of the many reasons I say, like, maybe just put it next to the water or keep it near you. Your sister might need surgery again. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Chevron Amethyst, we can bring that in for sure. I'm glad to hear you have an appointment with your shaman tomorrow, Jennifer. But yeah, white turquoise, a lot of times it's there's bits of like this soft brown kind of running through it, the veins. It's so pretty. Let's see. Spiritual focus and channeling. Arthritis, gotcha. Breathing difficulty since you had COVID. Ugh. so let's do some red tiger eye. We've got some smoky quartz for protection, but why not some red jasper? For arthritis and fractures, blue lace agate. Happiness, love, studying, gotcha. Labradorite and tiger eye. Lapis, emerald, amazonite, jet, mahogany, obsidian. Gotcha. Garnet. So let's start putting some of these in. So like I said, blue lace agate can be really helpful with things like arthritis and fractures, but it's also great at difficult emotions and getting them expressed. So this can help with things like anger and resentment too, because those can be very difficult emotions, but also heartache, heartbreak, anything that's really tender. Thought to really help things like tension headaches, as well as skin allergies and even sore throats. Really anything having to do with the throat. This is a superb stone. So blue lace agate. Red tiger eye is highly protective, whether it's kind of nitpicky bullying sort of stuff, all the way up to really malevolent spiritual work. Everything in between. Highly, highly protective stone. Also helps with bringing about quick financial gain if you need it. Like if you're really in a hard place and need to manifest some money, this is thought to be a helpful stone, but super ultra protective. This is golden tiger eye that has been in a place where it was closer to iron and it took on that reddish color. And while we're on tiger eye, or red tiger eye, I'm going to bring in golden tiger eye, or traditionally what we think of when we hear tiger eye. Grace had asked for some support around studying, and studying can be very, very much helped with tiger eye. This is a stone that helps us to see the bigger perspective. It helps us to see patterns in things. Big picture thinking. And that's why it's actually linked to being it's thought to be a very entrepreneurial stone, seeing the bigger picture. Helps whether you're managing something, whether it's items in your own life or even when you're studying, rather than seeing all of the information as just a collection of facts, but rather seeing it all coming together as a cohesive picture so you truly understand the information. It also is thought to protect against envy and jealousy, which might be helpful for Jen's situation, as well as bolstering courage. So we'll bring this in. Let's actually do this. Absolutely love putting the tiger eyes together. And while we're on that, let's bring in labradorite. This is definitely good too. This can help find like hidden blessings to some extent too. But it's also great for research and study. It's very much linked with that to see, like I said, patterns. It's very much, there's a strong affinity between labradorite and tiger's eye for a lot of things, but that's especially among study and research. Definitely helps with detailed information, finding errors or little pieces that may be sort of missing, that may be lost in the sauce. I love this stone for my friends who do things like data science and things like that, or programming, or coding, anything where there's a lot of detailed information. It's also great for workplace harmony and for better sleep, as well as having some joy while traveling. So we'll put some labradorite there. Garnet can help with organization as well as courage, especially in times of change. But this is one that allows us to be practical and creative in finding the best way to do something. So it's creatively tackling the things that need to be done. It's a very managerial stone. It's the birthstone of January, and it is very much linked with Capricorn. It basically summarizes my sun sign of Capricorn. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll bring it in. This is actually how it grows in nature. It forms in these sort of imperfect circles with all these many facets. We've also got emerald. This can be helpful for those of you that are having trouble breathing, like Vic, but it's also just great for anything having to do with skin, the tissue, looking for zest for life. It helps you to reignite your passions in life, career, all those things. Hey, good to see you, Fiat Luna. Carpal tunnel pain, absolutely. Eye strain, absolutely. Chris, great to see you. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is a great one for also confidence. If you've ever been sort of bullied or picked on about your appearance, emerald can be really heartwarming, helping you to love yourself from the inside out. It's a really beautiful self-love, self-respect stone in that regard. But yeah, anything having to do with upper respiratory stuff, whether it's bronchitis or like breathing difficulties from long COVID, I sometimes work with this. I have asthma that's been pretty chronic, and this is sometimes helpful. So let's go ahead and bring in some rough emerald. These are also from Jewelers Row, and this is what happens to this. This is what happens to the stones that aren't quite the pieces of the big pieces of stone that aren't quite the perfect ones to get set in like earrings or a necklace. So here's some emerald. Emerald. Sinus is easing and breathing. Gotcha. Chevron Amethyst helps with a lot of spiritual connection. It helps to basically take our messages up to spirit and then also be open and receptive to hearing their messages returned. Connecting in shamanic journey, visionary meditation. If you're somebody who does a lot of like astral projecting work or has a lot of visionary dreams, this can be really helpful. It's also thought to help with tolerance of others, and some folks really suggest it for any kind of degenerative disease, which, I mean, it's an interesting thought. I really don't know, but could make a nice, thoughtful, intentional gift for something like that. So there we go. Mahogany obsidian is a fantastic stone for anybody who struggles with perfectionism. This helps us release that perfectionism of it's not going to be perfect, so I can't launch it yet. I can't do it. Good enough isn't good enough kind of thing. It's also really linked with carpal tunnel. So Fiat Luna, definitely for you on that regard. With this also helps with meeting goals and physical vitality, and letting go of the need for approval. Sometimes we need something to be super great, super perfect, because we're waiting for someone to say, yes, that's good enough, which means you're good enough. This helps us to break a connection to that. So we'll go ahead and let this go. This is also thought to be related to pain in the teeth and gums, which could be interesting as well. So let's go ahead and put these guys in there. So this is mahogany obsidian. Obsidian is volcanic glass. Sleeping well throughout the night, definitely labradorite, and we'll have some amethyst too. Jet is helpful for grief. It's wood that's been volcanically fossilized, and as such, it's wood that's been volcanically fossilized, and as such, it's been through a tree catastrophic incident, all of the sudden forever changed into a stone. And it helps us to be one with our grief without being overwhelmed by it or just sort of numb and turning off to it completely. So it can be really helpful. It's also thought to help attract and recall lost animals. So we'll bring Jet in. You've been sleeping better? That's wonderful to hear. I'm really glad to hear that, Jen. We have a request for lapis, great for pain and inflammation on the physical level, but also for moving up in terms of career improvement and personal responsibility. I like to think of this as the integrity stone. This is honest, open communication, owning your commitments, acknowledging when you cannot make them or did not make them, and working with people who have that same level of integrity. So I really love this stone for anything having to do with career and maturing in how we are in our work life as well. So let's go ahead and put some of that around. Lapis. Okay, so let's see where else we have. Dryness in the air this season causes so many issues with sinus and lungs. You are not kidding. This is the first year that I've had like just banger nosebleeds, and I know I had to actually like cancel a live because of that this year. I had a nosebleed that wouldn't quit for over an hour. There was nothing I can do. It was like, I cannot be live with this. This is not helping anyone. Anxiety, paranoia, depression. Gotcha. I'm sorry you're dealing with those, but we do have some support. Let's get some green calcite, some aqua aura. Aqua aura is when a lot of us have had a lot of positive results supporting us, that those of us that struggle with depression and seasonal affective disorder. I really struggle with depression. It's a big deal for me. This is one that I found super helpful, and it's not written about much, and a lot of folks kind of poo-poo it. I did for a long time too, so I totally get it. This was a clear quartz crystal that was processed with gold in a man-made process. So that's why it looks this way. But yeah, some of us have found it really helpful. Of course, like anything here, it's not a replacement for any other treatment you're finding helpful, but do all the things that can help, right? So I hope that that's supportive of you. Also, we have some green calcite. This is a superb stone for anxiety. Green calcite is good for not only the anxiety and the worry, it helps to definitely ease that very well, but also the way that we hold tension in our body that was caused by that anxiety. So whether you hold it in like a tight jaw, or you notice that your shoulders get a little tight, wherever you hold that stress, this can help kind of unwind that a little bit too. Also thought to help with just nervousness in general, and just very reassuring. Work with this a lot. Green calcite can be in this sort of pale green all the way into like a rich green. So it can look a lot of different ways if you happen to be purchasing it. Hey, Aphrodite C. Trust amongst providers. Yeah, lapis, which is here, that can definitely help. Trust among providers. Trust and also integrity, living up to one's word, finding colleagues and other people that you work with that have a high level of integrity, can communicate openly and honestly whether they can meet a commitment or not, for example. So lapis is helpful. Hey, Susan and Greg, good to see you both. I'm also going to bring in some honey calcite. We haven't worked with that in a minute. Honey calcite is great for optimism in challenging times, and it's great for attracting good friends, colleagues, really anyone new in your life. So I'll bring this into, it's also just a really lovely stone of how we relate to others while not compromising ourselves. It really balances the solar plexus, which is the center of self and personal identity and personal will, with the sacral, which is the center of relationships and how we relate to the world around us and the people in it. So I'm going to bring in that honey calcite. It's very reassuring, very supportive, helps with good relations. Hey, Bethany, good to see you. Oh, well, we definitely got a little bit of solar plexus love in there. Digestive support, we've got love for too. And I'm definitely going to get everyone's requests too. Digestive support. We've got a lot of good ones for that. It's which one we want to use is the only question. Let's bring in some Dalmatian jasper. This is great for working together and cooperation, and it's excellent for clearing the energy of our energy field. It's got black tourmaline running through it, and black tourmaline like repels negative energy. So this really helps clear our energy field, whether it's energy we're releasing or energy we may have absorbed from someone or something else. But it's also fantastic for digestive issues, whether it's IBS or Crohn's. It's also great for, in a way, like it. People often talk of it being like anti-cynicism. Like if you're pretty jaded, this can help sort of open you up to a different experience. So this is Dalmatian jasper. Let's do, I hope that helps. But yeah, that can be great for digestion too. And good for cooperation among people. So that can also help Aphrodite C. Jennifer Vatsa, you can get test tubes to put stones in them and then use those in your water. Yeah, the indirect or double decanter method, that's what I do. I take a mason jar and then I put it in like a bowl. So the stone is in the mason jar. The mason jar is touching the water. The stone and the water never actually touch. Or you can put the water in whatever vessel you want to make your gem essence and put the stone next to it or on top of a covered mason jar. So this way they're not touching. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to not have to put the actual stone in your water. From what I've learned on Jewelers Row about the gem industry and how stones are treated and things like that, you would not catch me putting one in water and then drinking it. Like, we've probably got enough stuff in our water as it is, and no thank you. No thank you, for sure. So we've got Fjord Luna Head, Carpal Tunnel, so we got that. Eyes and eye strain. Aventurine is thought to be very helpful for eye problems. It's also helpful for expanding our opinion of ourselves for those of us who can tend to have a little bit of a low opinion of ourselves, or whether it's something we were raised with and internalized or something we absorbed from society or wherever it may have come from. This helps us to see a bigger potential for ourselves. It also, like I said, it can help allergies as well as support. And this is thought to be helpful for all eye problems. So I'll bring this in. It's thought to be helpful for fertility and learning as well. And also just like seeing yourself as capable. If you're someone who's like, I can't sign up to learn that. I'm just not good enough to learn it. I'm not smart enough to learn it. This is a stone to help you say, wait a minute, I'm going to give it a shot. Maybe I'm thinking down on myself kind of thing. Aquamarine, you got it. I was thinking aquamarine, actually. Aquamarine is fantastic for forgiveness. And I like to think of it as the anti-Karen stone. It really does deflect pettiness. And from people who are kind of looking for a reason to be upset, it helps to protect against that. But anything having to do with fluids in the body, forgiveness, whether you're forgiving someone else because you want to open-heartedly forgive, or you're forgiving someone else so you're setting yourself free from whatever it was, this can be a helpful stone. So aquamarine. And you adore aventurine. I love it too. Okay, so let me start from the top and make sure I didn't miss any. I know I missed several. Amethyst, rose quartz, we got labradorite, sodalite, and we got citrine. So let's get some sodalite. So sodalite. Amethyst, and this is not Chevron Amethyst, although Chevron Amethyst and Amethyst are the same stone. It's the chevrons that actually make a little bit of an energetic difference. Amethyst is great for owning your own responsibility in any kind of self-improvement work. It helps you to see what you're improving on and have a good, accurate view of yourself, but without getting really self-deprecating or down on yourself when you're making those changes. It helps you to hold yourself to account while being tender with yourself. It helps you to own your responsibilities and relinquish the responsibilities of others. It's also thought to be very helpful for things like addiction and recovery, especially it's very much aligned with things like the 12-step programs. You'll often see that mentioned in a lot of literature. We'll go ahead and we'll put that here and here. Rose quartz is a potent and just very consistent, high vibrational, unconditional love energy that can allow you to let go of things that maybe, yeah, they're not helpful and they don't feel good, but we're afraid to let go of them because we're concerned about what would take their place. This reminds us that there is something better to look forward to. So we'll go ahead and put that rose quartz there, right under our jet, because that can certainly help with the grieving process. Sodalite helps with expression. So very much when I was talking about blue lace agate, if that kind of resonated with you, this might be another stone you'd find interest in. Sodalite is great for grounding impulses too, in case that's a concern, but communication and expression. Creativity is very much aligned with the sacral chakra. Sodalite is how we express that creativity. So, because that's the throat chakra and that's expression. So whether you're doing any kind of speaking or orating or performance or expression of any kind, sodalite can really help unlock that. It's also thought to help folks that are coming to terms with either aging or just moving into a new chapter in their lives. This can be very helpful. It's also thought to be aligned with things like homesickness. So it's often a gift of folks living abroad and things. Glad you are here. Okay, cool. Lapis and sodalite, we're all on the same page. Harmony with housemates. Let's do some carnelian. Ask for healing for a recent trauma that's left you with anxiety, hypervigilance, and sadness. Absolutely. Let's bring in some black obsidian. This is a superb stone for any kind of sudden shock, physical shock, any kind of trauma, whether it's something that's very recent and acute or something that's very activated, like post-traumatic stress, where something's been activated and you've been almost triggered or brought back to that place. So whether it's happened recently or it feels very acute, helps us to, in a way, stabilize to a point and then do any of the grief and moving through the emotions that we might need to do. It's also thought to be very highly protective, and it's also linked with calming down nervous pets. So black obsidian is a superb stone for trauma. And black obsidian, very much as with mahogany obsidian, is a volcanic glass. Carnelian is helpful for getting along with lots of people, in the sense of what Vic had asked for with housemates. This can also work with coworkers and family. Because it's aligned with the sacral chakra, which is beneath the navel, that area has a lot to do with relationships of all kinds, but most people think of it as like romantic relationships and sexuality and fertility. And it does absolutely cover all of those things, but it's more the sense of how we relate to one another. So working together in groups. So it can absolutely help any kind of group dynamic. It's also thought to be helpful for things like colds and allergies and anything having to do with like upper respiratory sinus and stuff, as well as fertility, apathy, and even calling on finding a spiritually significant romantic partner or soulmate. So we'll bring this in. Where shall we place you? Let's do this. So that's carnelian. Let's see. Negative energy, liver, and cleanliness. Definitely howlite for the negative energy, liver, chi. Cleanliness, lapis can help with that. It can help with tidiness and things like that. As does dumortierite. Dumortierite is good for both of those things. So pent up anger, so liver chi, like the meridian of the liver, for those of you who are familiar. There's also standing up for yourself, like the things that are usually related to anger, but also helps improve tidiness and how it impacts your environment. This is also connected with ligaments and tendons, so if that's an issue, this can be supportive. Also thought to be helpful for things that seem hopeless and even things like nervous animals. That. So that's dumortierite. Extreme arthritis. Definitely the blue lace agate. Samantha, good to see you. Okay, gotcha. So we've got, let's bring in some, let's see if I have pink tourmaline available here. Here we go. So pink tourmaline is great for anything having to do with gynecologic issues. So periods, menopause, all the things in between. Also really great for things like muscle weakness and dispelling negative self-image, but anything having to do with GYN gynecologic issues. Mom and baby bonding. Also, it has a link with things like spinal injuries as well as migraines. So we're going to bring in some pink tourmaline for Sammy, as well as Unakite, because I'm pretty sure Chris would have requested Unakite. And even if not, I know smoking cessation. So Unakite helps with anything in the realm of women's health. Same kind of things, labor, delivery, fertility, but menses, onset of menses, menopause, all of those things. Helps with smoking cessation, so quitting smoking, and metabolism, especially if that metabolism issue is connected to the hormones, which often it is. So there we go. So this is Unakite. So we will put this. And hematite, we have peridot, iolate, rutilated. Rutilated also very much in support of Horokar's stepfather who is struggling with colon cancer. Rutilated quartz is thought to help with, first of all, energizing. So I know someone else had asked for some support around that. This is good for bringing in energy either to help keep us from getting ill or to recover after an illness or injury. Also, it's thought to direct the healing energy of whatever might be getting used, whether it's modern techniques or older techniques or holistic techniques, whatever kind of techniques. The rutils are thought to direct the healing exactly where it needs to go. So in that regard, it's been used for quite some time as a sort of a token of goodwill and support to folks who are battling cancer. It's also really helpful for connecting the body-mind and balancing the mind and focusing the mind if you feel like your mind is scattered. So that's rutilated quartz. Put that there. Iolite helps with everything from weight loss to sleep disturbances. This can definitely help you get a better night's sleep, along with money managing and even shamanic work. Another stone that supports your visionary connection to the spirit realm. So another one that's really good alongside things like Chevron Amethyst. So let's go ahead and put iolite here and here. Herkimer helps us to connect more spiritually to what we're manifesting and asking the universe for. It helps with being in the moment, in the present moment, as well as harmonizing discordant energy. So anyone that's looking for support around colleagues or housemates or anything, this can help harmonize that, as well as balancing the metabolism and opening up intuition. Go. We've also got sapphire blue kyanite, and aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. Sapphire is a stone that helps to connect with channeling and intuitive energies, intuitive messages. Can be a very powerful stone. If you're not familiar with grounding your energy, you might want to work with that first. But this helps to deeply strengthen the channel through which we connect to get intuitive information, as well as helps us to translate what we're getting in a way that is most helpful for the person we're getting information for. So whenever I do tarot readings, I have these nearby. So that is sapphire. Aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. So aragonite they're both types of calcite basically. Aragonite is the brown, and the blue lace, or the blue Caribbean calcite, clearly is the blue. And when we have both of them together, the aragonite really helps with our root chakra and our earth star chakra, which is enacting our spiritual purpose, actually doing the things we know we need to do in life, feeling safe and stable enough to do them. The blue is more connected with the crown and the soul star. That has more to do with how we envision the possibilities ahead of us. So it's envisioning our soul's potential. So balancing these two opposite ends helps the energy between move much more easily, and that's how it supports the movement of Kundalini energy, which lays dormant at the base of the spine, to flow more evenly and more readily. So we'll bring this in. Blue kyanite helps with self-acceptance and with understanding the intuitive messages that we get. It's also one that is thought to support folks that are recovering from brain injury and stroke, where their mobility or their ability to speak has been impacted. So again, this is blue kyanite. And let's see what else. I'm so glad that you are here. Let's do that and that. It's true. You only have to ask for a few things because everybody requests something so similar. It's always the case. I'm so grateful for you too. I'm so glad that you're grateful for this group and that this is helping so much. I get beautiful messages from all of you so often, just telling me how much these sessions mean to you and how much they help you. And I have to tell you, thank you. Hearing that from all of you, it really does warm my heart more than I could express. So thank you. And thank you for being here. So let's see, who else did I skip over so far? Emotional stability, you got it. Sending and connecting with new spiritual forces and energies. I like that. Greg and Susan, harmony and materialization. Definitely the Herkimer diamond. Whenever Herkimer comes out, I think of Greg and Susan. And we have spiritual focus and channeling. Return of Cat and Joie de Vivre. We've got that with the emerald and jet. Your mom for prosperity. Your stepfather's colon cancer. So let's do pyrite for your mom. Spiritual focus and channeling, and you also had support in diagnosis and healing unknown persons. Gotcha. New magical practice and learning correctly. So we'll bring in Prehnite. Yeah, let's do that. So we have a lot to help with spiritual connection and channeling, but I'm going to bring in Prehnite to help with the learning new spiritual techniques and systems. Prehnite is excellent for learning those things, whether you're teaching them or learning them. It helps hold a space for that transfer of information and true understanding as well. It can help with things from prophecy to lucid dreaming and all of the things that are intuitive and spiritual in that regard, but it can also help with finding your own spiritual path. So definitely learning along those lines. This is also a stone that helps you to refuse unfair demands if you struggle with that, and helps to aid us in meditation. If you find that your mind wanders in an unhelpful way, this can be a stone that helps to kind of bring you back on track. So let's put this. Maybe if we move these. There we go. And we'll put Prehnite here and here. Pyrite helps to get the energy moving. It's also great for intuition as well as protection at the same time, so that you're not negating one by asking for the other. It can be great for the lungs as well as for battling fever. It's got a big connection with that. It's thought to help support memory function and can be, like I said, very protective, helps to facilitate the flow of Reiki energy. But the reason we're calling on it today is its power of helping call on financial abundance. We already have citrine, and we generally always do, but this can also help. I like to think of it as fool's gold brings the real gold. So we'll bring in this pyrite. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and I'll take a peek with making sure I didn't skip anybody. If I did skip you or a request, let me know in the comments now. And then we're going to move on to the next thing, I think. I think I got everybody. Solar plexus, pelvic floor, you got it. You're always welcome for the Herkimer, Susan. Yes, sacral plexus and healing pelvic floor. For muscles and things, there's serpentine, but for the sacral, carnelian is superb for it. A little bit mahogany obsidian, that's sacral and root, but carnelian for it too. I would say too, like strengthening muscles and things. Oh, there it is. We've got a couple things that can be really helpful with things like pelvic floor, including unakite. And even to some extent, pink tourmaline. Unakite specifically helps everything having to do with women's health. And so definitely pelvic floor. And in general, I would say unakite, especially if the person identifies as female. But either way, carnelian is the stone that I would use for that. It's everything having to do with sacral and everything having to do with the pelvis. So we've got that here. Can also help with just how we relate to one another. So I hope that that supports you too. And welcome here. I'm glad that you're here. I think we are groovy to go. So I'm going to have us, rather than, actually, let's think about it. I'm going to quickly explain a little bit about what Reiki is and how it works. I feel like the grid is really good, and there's just a couple things I might want to add, so I'm just going to add it when we come back. But if you could help me, go ahead into the chat if you're here live and just enter anything that you happen to feel grateful for. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing it, you can just think about it. Enter or share anything that you feel grateful for in your life, and that'll help lift the energy of the grid, of all of us, and of the space that we're in. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is and a little of what to expect, and then we're going to dive right back in, and I'm going to send healing to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. And absolutely, you're welcome. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I'm the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. If you want to learn more about my live online Reiki classes, you can learn more about those in the description below or at learnreikiphiladelphia.com. You can also check out the description below to learn more about my community Discord, Crystal Shop, and social media, as well as all the regular days and times that I do stream here. I'm here 5 times a week, live on YouTube, same days and same times. You can also subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss an opportunity to heal along with all of us. So what is Usui Reiki? I've been working with it and teaching it actually for over 14 years. And this particular method and approach of working with energy is named after this style and technique's founder, Mikao Usui. And he created this style in early 1920s Japan. The style is unique in that it involves a lot of different pieces of spiritual understandings and pursuits that he had in his life. But this particular system is a secular approach to something incredibly spiritual. The very concept of what Reiki is, we can see in the indigenous spirituality of Japan known as Shintoism, in which everything has a soul and everything is interconnected. And within that interconnection, there are several forces at play, one of which is to support our well-being, It's essentially thought of as a spiritually guided soul or life energy. And that's roughly what Reiki translates to. Our body, mind, and spirit are working with this energy all the time to help bring us to the best state of physical, mental, and emotional well-being that we can be in at that moment. And even though we're not thinking about it and our culture really doesn't even acknowledge it or recognize it, that energy is still there. Much like we're mostly made of water and it's so important for everything that our body does, we don't have to consciously think about the fact that we're mostly made of water or what the water is doing in our body for it to do what it does. And it's much the same way with Reiki. Our spirit knows how to use this energy. So essentially what I'll be doing is connecting to this energy source that is already flowing through you. And I'll be directing more of it to your body, mind, and spirit so that they can do what they're doing even more. You don't need to do a darn thing. So go ahead and get yourself as physically comfortable as you feel you want to, sitting up, laying down, covered your eyes, maybe not. You can move around if you want to. You don't have to be perfectly still, but just get comfortable. I'll connect with that energy. I'll direct more of it to you. You may notice some sensations in your physical body. You may notice some emotions coming up or shifting out. You may notice that your subconscious comes up and you're able to maybe even think some things through that you maybe haven't been able to parse out recently. Or spiritually, you may feel deeply connected to intuition, and you may even get some spiritual guidance while you're here. You may also just have a really great nap, and isn't that nice? So whatever the case might be for you, just go ahead and enjoy your session. You don't have to focus on anything, and you don't have to keep a silent mind. Just if you feel like you're getting distracted, or if you're not sure if it's a distraction or maybe a message, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. And if it keeps coming back, you're meant to hear it. At the end of the 25-minute session, you will hear my voice come back in. I'll invite you to take a deep breath in, come back to the space, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have at that time. If you're watching this in the future, you can always put your questions in the comments below. I'll do my best to get back to them. And additionally, because we are all interconnected and the Reiki energy is flowing through all of us, it doesn't matter where I am in relation to you in terms of miles and kilometers, nor time. So whenever this happens to be finding you, you are absolutely just as able to connect with it and heal from it and have a beautiful experience. If you're enjoying today's session, you can always subscribe and hit the like button and all that good stuff, but you can also go back to our past live stream videos. And watching that playlist, you can just get Reiki whenever you happen to need it, wherever you happen to be. I'm so glad to have you all here. Again, you can check me out at learnreikiphiladelphia.com, and where you can also book one-on-one sessions with me over a distance. So thank you so much for being here. Go ahead, just get as physically comfortable as you can. If you want to stretch, journal, that's great, but honestly, you don't need to do anything. Just breathe wherever you happen to be. Thanks again for sharing this time with me, and let's go ahead and enjoy the healing. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love all of the beautiful well wishes and things. Jure, awesome. Thank you. Welcome in. Oh, these are just so warm and lovely. Yeah, lots of good love, lots of love and support for everybody. Thank you all so much. So you go ahead, get comfortable. I'm going to start sending some Reiki to you. You don't need to do a darn thing. Just exist and be. I will take care of it. I'm so honored to have this opportunity to share this healing with all of you. I will see you in 25 minutes. Until then, know that the lights will move slowly and evenly through several different colors. At no point will they flash or strobe. And if you want to learn more about the musical creator, her information is at the bottom of the description. You can go check out her YouTube channel and all of the beautiful music that you can stream all day long should you like. So thanks again for being here, and I will see you in 25 minutes. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly coming back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to share this energy with all of you. For those of you who are new, I'm here 5 times a week. You can subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss an opportunity to join. Or you can check the days and times that I regularly stream in the description box below. Oh, Heart, good to see you. You're so welcome, Chris. If anyone has any questions, just let me know. Thank you for subscribing, Bloom Bella Glow. Welcome to the Reiki fam. Good to have you. Oh, that's excellent to hear, Jennifer. Yay. Oh, thank you, Vic. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad it was helpful, Patty. Oh, Carrera, thank you for saying that. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You're so welcome. All of you are. I absolutely love spending time with all of you here. Oh, Tara, that's beautiful. Thank you for being here. Oh, it's all good, Tara. Thank you. All the good sentiment and energy attached to it is always in the perfect time. Have a good one, Patty. Thank you, Highland Love. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will be here Friday, excuse me, Friday at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. and Sunday at 8 p.m. Those are my most upcoming streams. So good to see you all. You're welcome, Jeray. You're welcome. And Patty, I'm really glad this was helpful. Yeah, I feel better too. It's the great thing about Reiki. You work with it and you have it flowing through you, and it's even when you're connecting with it to send it to other folks, you still get some Reiki yourself, and it's just, I leave my workday feeling better than when I showed up. It's always the case, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful to have all of you here to enjoy it. That's a beautiful one. So on your way out, everyone, if you have any questions, let me know, but don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help me out. But most importantly, just being here. Just being here is a huge help to the channel. It's definitely a mutually beneficial thing where you all are here and I get to be in support. It's total symbiosis, and that's why the energy feels so great. And all of you who said beautiful things in the chat, shared gratitudes, whether out loud or to yourself, and said supportive things to other people here especially. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know about all of you, but I feel so much better. Yeah, great big group today. The last few groups have been really big, and I'm so grateful for that. So happy for that. It feel like once we hit the 500 milestone, the channel started growing even faster. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go. I have to teach my Reiki 1 class this evening. You can learn more about my online Reiki classes at learnreikiphiladelphia.com. The link's in the description below. But you can always be here and drop in. And remember, you can always enjoy the pre-recorded previous live streams. There's a whole playlist for you to enjoy. So if you do need some healing and I'm not live, it's always there for you. Don't hesitate to reach out. Lots of love to all of you. I am immensely grateful for every single person that's here today and every day, and whoever might be watching this in the future. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go teach my class. Thank you again so much. I hope to see you all again soon, and bye for now.